Once it rains, there's this explosion of life where everything flowers at once. All the plants flower, and then all of the animals and the birds are like, quick, let's mate. let's have progeny. And they explode with life. Hey, good morning. Morning walk, episode 92, and it is a beautiful day. This is extraordinary. It's so nuts to be on this trip. You know, something's been planned for years, and then really suddenly you find yourself, in fact, not so suddenly, driven like 4,500 kilometers for this sunrise. Just extraordinary. This is the Rainbow Valley Conservation Area, which is about an hour south of Alice Springs, and then 22 kilometers in off the highway on some pretty interesting dirt road, I must admit. But honestly, this has got to be the most spectacular place that we've been so far on this trip. This massive kind of monolith which is standing here, it's obviously been weathered away over tens of thousands of years, and it's fascinating to know that the local Aboriginal tribes have literally been coming here for, I don't know, tens of thousands of years. It's a very special spot for those indigenous tribes. Basically, every time that it would rain, it doesn't rain here very much, but just here you've got like this clay pan, and the seeds that lie dormant here in the soil, they can lie dormant for years and years. So essentially there's no moisture, and suddenly once it rains, there's this explosion of life where everything flowers at once. All the plants flower, and then all of the animals and the birds are like, quick, let's mate. let's have progeny. And they explode with life. And of course, this is the perfect place for tribes to then come and meet up, have ceremonies, feast, and enjoy this incredibly spiritual place. And that's been literally happening for tens of thousands of years. And it's just a phenomenal history and connection to this land that when you stand here, you feel it, right? You really freaking feel it. I think about history quite a bit. I studied history in high school, and I've loved Australian and world history for a long time. But I kind of think about, like that day-to-day history, how important it is to look back and feel our connection to those things in our past. Like, is that important, or is it important for us to let that stuff go? And I guess it's kind of a combination of both, isn't it? I think this idea of letting go our histories is more about letting go the feelings around it, the pain that we experienced, or even to some extent the joy. If you want to be really stoic and enjoy the present, you kind of just have to let go of all of those feelings from the past. However, what's really critical is that we hold on to the learnings, and we hold on to the understandings that we've gained from those moments in time in the past, because that's what makes it possible for us as a civilization to keep moving forward, and as individuals. Because if we just keep making the same fucking mistakes over and over, life isn't very pleasant. This fence is basically here to indicate that the land beyond there is really the domain of the local indigenous tribes, and you're not allowed in there unless you're one of the traditional owners of the land. So this is also something I find very interesting. That is not a very strong, sturdy defence. Our defence is the defense is really a moral one, isn't it? Either you're going to respect that and not cross the line, or you're just going to do it anyway. That's also learned behaviour from history, isn't it? But I think it's a bit like climbing Uluru, Ayers Rock. Some people just wanted to do it, even though the local indigenous tribes made it very clear that they didn't want people climbing Uluru. People did it anyway, because there was no sort of physical barrier. It's just a moral one. To some extent, I think we need to pay attention to those moral barriers, because if we don't pay attention to them, what do we have? What do we have? What guides us when we're lost? Well, it's really all the stuff that we know in our hearts, in our souls. Those lessons that either we've learned or others have learned before us and passed on. That's what guides us when we're in tough times. So many of the challenges that we face as humans are really moral ones, like climate change and all sorts of inequality, whether it's wealth inequality or gender inequality. I know there's kind of no physical need for us to do something about those, but there's definitely a moral one. And if we don't let ourselves be kind of guided by history, we know where this ends up. It ends up in not good, not happy places. So you have to pay attention to history and to learn lessons. And then we need to do our best to try and make the most of this short time we have here. So hopefully you can leave more learnings for the people that come behind us. Whatever you're getting up to today, I hope it's an extraordinary day. Thanks for joining me for a walk. I'm Rob Malicki. I'll see you next time on The Morning Walk.